Thank you, Cornsey, and welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, beer, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that, you drink.
Ooh, baby.
If My Sock Summer doesn't know a player's name or mentions his time on the West Coast, you drink. If I swear or say here's the thing, you drink. Beef Loaf, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, baby. I'm a little tired. It's been a long work week. I'm a little gassed at this point, but I wanted to bring up. I caused a well. Yeah, I was earlier in the week. Tonight, no beans, so I'm feeling a lot better. I caused a bit of a commotion earlier this week on Twitter by blasting out pictures of my headshots, and I didn't realize how much of a thirst trap I was by doing so. So thank you, Treasy. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. One thing I realized, I should have brought this up last week because it was last Thursday that I actually went to go get the headshots done. And it was like right kind of a couple hours before the podcast, but I thought, forget it. I'll talk about the poker. But you know what I realized going for the headshots? I fucking love being in front of the camera. I wish they would have taken more pictures of me. And when Jimmy Vanicki tweeted at me, he's like, oh, you should have let the flow down and everything. I had gel in my hair, but if I didn't, I should have had the balls to just like let it down and get they didn't have the fan like the wind machine, but I should have tried to get the wind machine and have it blowing and just a real sexual vibe I put off. Maybe I'll schedule those pictures for sometime during the summer.
See, now you see how all these young small town girls get caught up in the drama. You know, like you're like, why did Marilyn Monroe show all her goodies off to everybody? You know, it's like because like once you get in front of that camera, it's intoxicating.
I feel like
they whip it out.
Is inching towards an OnlyFans account, and that's what he's trying to like tell us right now. That's like where he's going with this conversation. I'm not comfortable with it, but I support you in your endeavor.
I don't know if it's that quite yet, but I mean, like, Treasy, you remember this? I may have even mentioned this in the blog or podcast before. I don't know if I've ever told you this, My Sex Summer, but a million years ago when I was in college, they did an ad campaign at my university to change the name when I was a freshman. And I was one of the 12 people out of the entire school they picked to do this photo shoot. And then they picked one of the pictures I'm in with 5 other people. And I was up on a billboard off of I-290, the Eisenhower, going westbound at about Central Avenue. And that's the route I had to take to school. I would see my mug on a big billboard for an entire semester. It was unbelievable.
So were you like a sophomore at the time?
I was a freshman when they did the photo shoot and a sophomore when they actually put the billboard up. Yeah.
Because it was my senior year in high school. And I remember one of our teachers, I think it was Mr. Ehart, the wrestling coach. He used to be a professional wrestler, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He was basketball coach, I should say. And he came into class. He was one of my teachers. He came into class and he's like, I'm driving down the expressway today. I saw your brother's ugly mug up on a billboard. I pulled over and I got out and I started throwing rocks at him.
I'm unfazed by the haters, Treasy.
I've always wanted it to be true.
You didn't do that.
Obviously he's telling a joke, but there's part of my mind that was like always like, I bet he did. I want to believe that he did. I'm just gonna believe.
Shit.
There's no question about it. So I don't know. I think I may do another photo shoot on my own money. This one I kind of had to do for a work thing and to put some photos up on LinkedIn. I might just do another photo shoot on my own just to treat myself. And I'll share the goods with the universe.
Like Costanza? You didn't do a Costanza photo shoot?
Yeah, exactly. I want now that I'm comfortable with the photographer, maybe we can really work out some things I've been thinking about, some stuff I got in my skull, and we'll figure out a little methodology.
I love it.
It's too bad that Valentine's Day has passed. You guys could have had a couple shoot, or you guys both go and take like you maybe some. What are those? What's that? You know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say, and
I don't know if I'm going to say it.
My Sex Summer, am I gonna deck you the next time I see you?
No,
it's
like the nice sexy photos. There's a word for it. It's like with a B, and I don't know what that word is, and I'm not giving any more ammo to Sal. So I hope everything is okay in Texas, Sal, but go fuck yourself. So yeah.
My Sex Summer, how you doing, man?
So dude, today. Great day today at the thrift stores. Me and the lady, and I'm not a very big superstitious fan, right? Or a superstitious person. I am superstitious as far as fans. That is why I have remove the 108 Illini shirt that I had in my house when they started losing games. That is not in my house anymore. It is gone. Like I had to get rid of it. Like I'm like, every time I wore this shirt, they would fucking lose. And then the Bears were starting to lose when I was wearing it. So I was like, fuck this. I got to get rid of the shirt. So I got rid of it. But I have a lucky bag. In this today, before I went into the thrift store, it's a reusable shopping bag. Well, if you made a face.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to follow along.
I don't know what you're talking about. Your lucky bag. I don't know.
I was just waiting to hear the rest of the story. You know,
I went to another thrift store on what it'd be Wednesday, and I took this bag in, and I was like, I had good luck the last time I was at this, at a store with this bag. So then I took it in again today, and I had a good luck on Wednesday, and then I took one in today. Now my oldest daughter goes to school, and so me and my youngest have 2 hours to do anything we want to do. And so there's this route that I can go up and I can hit a store and then hit Aldi, or whatever when I'm doing food shopping. And so then the other days, like I drive out to a further one, or do something, like that's just, we don't have a lot of time. There's no reason to come home. Like,
I saw someone
be out and move around. Yeah.
Can I cut you off there? You mentioned with the bag, you had good luck in the past with the bag.
Yeah.
What constitutes good bag luck? What's good
good
bag
finds?
Luck is what I want to know.
You got good finds,
Something
right?
specific.
A bad find. Well, I'll show you good finds today because I have what I found today because it's amazing. But like a bad day, like when I get out there is I get in the store and I walk around and I'm like, I don't see nothing. Like I buy absolutely nothing. And there will be days or weeks I will have 3 days in a row where I buy absolutely nothing. So it's not far-fetched, right? So
it's
that's
good
why
discipline.
When there's a good day, it's amazing because you're like, that's a fucking good day. So today was a good day. Now, took in my lucky bag. This is the first thing I got. Now, everyone's got a baseball mitt when they go to games, right? I think I can take this into the 108.
Okay.
It's a fucking puck mitt. You can catch a puck in this motherfucker. Can you imagine me walking in the door with one of these fucking things, man? This is dope.
I'll be honest with you. My summer. I'm going to need that for my next photo shoot if you don't mind. I need a prop. I need to have a prop in there.
You could put your whole schlonz right in that motherfucker. This way. There we go. Now,
fully nude goalie mitt. That's it.
Best part about this thing?
I don't know what it's called.
Best part about this motherfucker. You know how much this fucking thing cost? I don't even want to tell you.
$3.99.
It was $4. Yeah, $4.
Holy moly! Nice guess.
I don't want to tell you how much that retails for because it's a lot. Now, I'm walking around. I see these when I first walk in. Usually they have ridiculous prices attached to them. First thing I see though, cup up there looking. Oh boy! Who is that?
Snap.
Is that a
Pippen, baby?
That's Scottie Pippen.
No tipping, baby. Nice.
It's brand new. Okay.
Oh, shit.
Size 44. Usually these things are like $80 at a thrift store because they're like last dance equals money. $20. I was like, sold.
Ooh, wow.
So I buy that. Looking down the line a little bit. Uh-oh, what else is hanging up? Oh, another Pippen.
Wow.
Yeah.
How close were you to Scottie
This is the little one, though. This is the little one. It's a kid's extra large. Still, only $20. Not bad. Then I was like,
there's more.
I gotta look.
There's more.
Uh-oh. Who's this guy? You guys remember this dude? He used to play for the Bulls. Oh, that's Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, yeah, baby.
I was when you decided you needed to flip around the Jordan, I was really expecting an error card.
That would have been so awesome. Like the Burry. Treasy, like the Burry. John ran.
Now this one. This was a little more than $20. It was like $40, but like this is like you can see like where the jersey's kind of like cracking and stuff.
Yeah, yep,
so that's
I see that.
So it's not as good, right? But it's still pretty good. But the creme de la creme of today, not of the jerseys.
Rodman,
another goddamn Michael Jordan. It's like brand new. This one is brand new, and it is size 48. So fat guys can fit into this one. But this is like I almost thought it was fake. I was like, man, I think this is a reprint, but it's not. So I looked at all these, and when I was checking out, the woman was like, had to stack them all up and then took a picture of them to like send her manager, and it was like, you priced these too low because this stupid fuck never buys anything of this expensive, and he's bought every single one of them. So I know that's what she was saying in Spanish when she was cursing me. Now, here, this was my biggest find of the day, and this is actually, I found this before I went and looked at the jerseys again, because normally, like I said, they're usually like 60 to 80 bucks. So I was like, I'm not spending that money because I can't make that much on them. But at 20 and 40, I could probably make some money. So I got this. I see this hat just chilling, right? Nice little Bears hat. It's an old school Bears hat. Oh, wait a minute. Who signed that motherfucker? Oh, is that number 34? Is that Walter fucking Payton?
No
goddamn right it is. I was like, are you shitting me? Is that Walter Payton? And I was like, I just looked at it. I was like, that's fucking Walter Payton. And the thing is, and this is for all you thrift store fucking people, you know, this is something that you can look at. I got to figure out this mirrored camera bullshit. There ain't no way in hell. If somebody is making a fake of these, they are not signing it like this. Okay. This was 100% signed by quite possibly an intoxicated Walter Payton. Okay. Because there's nobody in their right mind that's going to make a fake and is going to sign right here on a hat. They're going to sign on a bill. They're going to sign anywhere else. This is the stupidest part to fucking sign it. Like, it's over the B in the Bears. I mean, who the fuck does this? So anyway, I was like, this is 100% legit. And for $6, I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then it's also the tags on the inside are also like from the 80s or 90s. So like, you know, it's legit. So that's awesome. So those are my big scores. I found this guy kind of creeping around too. That's our little intern there in Brown. But yeah, no, that was my big scores today. Like 2 days in a row, I found like decent shit. Like I got this Oldsmobile satin jacket, one of those old satin jackets. I was gonna give it to Treasy, see if he wants it, but he doesn't really like it when I give him stuff that might have fleas.
I would like to tell you that I don't want it.
Even before you buy
it's
it,
maroon.
Treasy always tells you he doesn't want anything.
It's maroon, it's satin, and it's like brand new. It's King Louis. Oh, it's dope. And it was like half off day, so it just was chilling in the rack. It was like $1.25. I'm selling it to some fucking fat hipster for fucking $35, $45 ship, bitch. So, all right. How are you doing, Treasy?
I'm doing good. I'm glad I don't have a satin jacket.
You need one.
Continue not to have one. I actually, you know what's funny? I do have one. I do have a satin jacket because I have the. Have you seen Death Proof, the Tarantino movie?
Yes.
I have the Stuntman Mike jacket.
No way. How come you never wear that out?
You know, it's a special occasion thing. Plus, I haven't seen you guys.
You just wear it for your anniversary or what?
I haven't seen you guys in 15 months.
They go to White Castle for his anniversary. That's when
I was gonna say we've seen each other in person like 4 or 5 times doing the Sunday soak.
I'll wear it in the next soak. I'll wear it in the tub.
And then you derobe as you go in there.
Rip it off.
It's gonna be awesome. Nipples are flaying.
Actually, like the zipper will be stuck and I'll drown. That's it. That's more likely what's gonna happen.
Sounds about right. That's great content. I got to be honest with you.
No, I've been doing good. I've been I've been working like fairly late each day, and then just catch a little bit of TV at night. And we've been watching these like House Hunters and the home remake shows, like where they're fixing up the houses and shit. And here's why I love them. Every one of these, the guy, like whoever the guy is, like the husband or the boyfriend or whoever he is, he sucks. He's like the worst guy ever. Like it's like when I used to watch Intervention to make myself feel better about my drinking.
Yeah. Yep.
This is just like me feeling better about myself in general. Like these guys are awful. Like we were watching the other day and the guy was like, I like having carpet in the bathroom. All right. It's nice on my feet. It's like, what?
I like sitting all over this carpet.
I need a ruling here. Is that beta male behavior, having a carpet in the bathroom? Is that how that works?
I don't know what it is. It's gross.
It's weird because like you're gonna piss all over it and you're gonna get out of the shower and it's gonna. To me it's like mold. Like you just want mold everywhere. Yeah, that's what I
disgusting.
Like.
And Treasy, you talking about intervention? There's nothing better than a group of the 108ers during a rain delay, watching Intervention together, getting smashed, and then rooting for the relapse to occur.
The relapse.
Well, rooting for the person to not make it, for them to return to being a drunk.
It's a for or against, right? Because like sometimes you're like, okay, this person is grateful for what's happened to them. But some people, they're just like, even when they're sober, are pieces of shit. And you're just kind of like, I'm not going to root for this guy.
Yeah, Biggins roots against them every time.
That's
He's undefeated in rooting against the person.
But yeah, so that's what I've been doing with my time, watching other people suck so that I can feel better about myself. It's what most of you watching this right now are doing.
Exactly.
I like the memes that were going around when we got the first stimulus payment, and they posted a picture, and they're like, got that, first stimulus payment, and they have the picture of the two people from House Hunters on it walking. They're like, budget $4 million. Because they're always like, come in, like these people are like, yeah, we're looking for a new house, we're gonna do this. Yeah, what's your budget? And they're like, $865,000. And you're like, what the fuck? How did you find that? And then they were like, well, then they don't even go for that actual price. They're always like way over budget. They're like, hey, it's over budget by like $300,000. But the curb appeal is much better, and your resale value will definitely be better down the road. It's like, I hate that shit. I hate those shows.
That's also what I like about all the guys on these shows. They're $200,000 to $300,000 off in price range from what their spouse is.
Yes.
Like this is two people that have never talked yet are married. That's how I get every episode. I'm just kind of like, this guy has never spoken to his wife before. Like,
so the actors don't have you believing the bit, is what you're saying, Treasy.
No, I believe it. I feel like I've met people. Like I've been at the bar having a drink, and I see a couple that is having what seems to be their first conversation, and they're both wearing wedding rings. Now, that could be a lot of things, but usually I assume it's a married couple who just hates each other.
Now we just went through this about 7 years ago now. It'll be 7 years in December. But when we went out to go for a house hunt, like my wife was like, we've been pre-approved for $500,000. And I was like, what's the mortgage on a $500,000 house? And she told me, and I was like, I don't know how we're approved for this, because technically, yes, we can afford it. I go, but we will never be able to do anything. So we better fucking really love that goddamn house, because we ain't never going out of it. And so when we had to go through and talk this all out, and then like come to the decision that like, here, we don't want to be house poor. And I think Loaf gave me that advice too. It's like, hey, listen, you don't want to bite off more than you can. Be like, oh, we can definitely do it. But you're going to have to cut back on all the things you really enjoy to do, like drinking constantly. So you should probably not do that. So yeah, and we made a good decision, because then now we parlays into where we're at now, where my motherfucking ass ain't bringing in any money. And as Sal has said in the chat, I'm a junk peddler, for Christ's sake. I'm just selling wares on eBay, trying to get my beer money hopefully for fucking 2021. Hey, we'll see.
Depending on the type of junk peddler you are, you can make a lot of money doing that.
SANFORD period is what I'm saying right there.
So I really want to know what you guys are drinking, especially because I'm looking at My Sock Summer's drink, and I'm just not quite sure what he's got there.
I got all sorts of shit, man. But this is the first thing I'm drinking. Aloha Mr. Hand got this for me. It's the Lagunitas. It's the 2018 One-Hitter Series. It's the Wilt Eyes Coffee Stout.
Oh, nice.
I think it's
that looks good.
I think it's a $12 to $15 bottle. Maybe 18. I'm sure Mr. Hand will fucking tweet me or text me right now and say it was $19.95, motherfucker. But it's a nice little offering. It's a 12%er, which explains why I am this loose with my lips as quickly as I am right now.
Attaboy, I like that. I like your loose lips.
I know you guys said that, and I needed to loosen up a little bit. So I'm doing that.
My Sock Summer canceled. That's the new saying.
Yes, they do.
And I also have like 3 other beers in the cooler. They're very similar, all coffee stouts, ones that I was saving for like a get together with Josh Nelson, and it never formalized because we're in a pandemic. So I'm gonna drink them. Sorry, Josh.
We can restock.
I'll get new ones.
And restock when he's officially a Bridgeporter.
Yeah,
which is coming soon.
Very soon.
What are you drinking, Loaf?
Beef. Yeah, I gotta know what you're drinking.
Well, there's no fishbowl today, unfortunately.
Oh, it's such a bummer.
As I clear out the remaining booze that has been left at my house, I am drinking the Absolute Pepper. And I'm going to tell you something, boys. I opened this bad boy up and took a whiff, and it smelled exactly like an ashtray. And even though I mixed it with Squirt in the beautiful Drunk Online Tour cup, it tastes a lot like feet. So we're gonna battle through it.
Why would you?
We only got. We're only doing about. There was only about 7.5, 8 shots of the booze in there. So I think we'll be able to take that all down. We got plenty of Squirt here to handle it. So hey, I mean, I prefer if I was matching them up, the UV Blue vodka against the Absolute Pepper, it's UV Blue by a mile.
Well, yes, that's what you're mixing with Squirt.
The pepper's not for Squirt. It's like for Bloody Marys.
Like,
I don't like Bloody Marys, so I'm not.
I know you don't like Bloody Marys. I don't like them either, but that's what it's for.
Yeah.
That's like
going
something
like meat flavored or something.
That's like I don't have a car, so I'll just drink this motor oil.
Yes.
How dare you? How dare you belittle me like that? I thought about, I'd read up a couple of recipes and some cocktails I could make, and then I was just like, fuck it, I'm way too lazy for that shit. I got a bunch of Squirt, and everything's good with Squirt, but apparently Squirt and Absolute Pepper equals feet. So that's where we're at today. There's nothing I can do about it.
I mean, that's just stupid. That's more on you than it is on whoever brought the bottle of Papar or Pepper, whatever.
Oh, I like the way you pronounce it, Papar. That's how I'm pronouncing it now.
You know what
Swedish.
it is?
I think that's Swedish.
George Papard's feet are in that. That's what it actually is.
They're delicious. Treasy, how about you? What are you drinking tonight, my friend?
I got a whole bunch of different stuff, but I'm doing an Armadillo Hero right now.
Nice Armadillo hops. I'm sure.
Ooh.
When was it? Yes. When was it canned?
Let me see. November. Is that good?
Oh, it's not horrible.
I love it. It tastes good.
You know what? I'll give it to Rev. Rev definitely has a good shelf life for their IPAs.
You know what? Summer? It's got a beautiful malt to it, and you know me, I like malty beverages.
Remember that we went to the Skylark that one? It was after the Festivus that we did at Low Res. We went to Skylark,
yes,
and we got anti-heroes that had probably been there like for an entire year.
Yes,
like they were awful. Like you guys even were like, "Oh, we can't drink this. This is fucking trash." And I was looking at the bottom, and it was like a year old. They were awful. So bad. No one obviously orders anti-hero at Skylark, which I don't understand.
Oh man, I miss Skylark.
I do too.
It always reminds me of the when Moe is redoing his bar in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got to get rid of this, get rid of that, and he's like, it's too dank. And Lenny's like, you can't lose that. Or Carl, one of them. It's like, you can't lose the dank, Mo. You can't lose the dank. And that is Skylark. That's every time I go in there. I'm like, are all the lights broken? What's going on in there? And I don't care after one drink.
And the pisser is absolutely high end. What am I pissing in a hole on the floor? I mean, that's how the Skylark rolls.
I feel like the Skylark has enough room for 15 urinals, and it's just 2 gigantic urinals. It's like pissing into a coffin.
And it's cold as fuck.
Or like they stood up a bathtub sideways, and they're like, "This is a urinal.
This is all we have." Yeah, we'll just deal with it. How about that?
You can either put a Virgin Mary in here or use it as a urinal. What are the two?
It reminds me, it's not quite as amazing as do you remember, Beef? You remember the Mutiny bathroom where it was just that one gigantic urinal?
Yes,
it was a one person, but I swear to God, it was the size of a door, and that was the one urinal, and then there was just a shitter just out in the open, just like no
in
no
the middle
cover.
of the room,
it was in the middle of the room, like a prison cell.
I mean, Beer Bistro had the basement shitter like that, where it was the
door was missing, because I remember one of our guys we went there, and it was, I'm not going to name him because you probably don't want to be named for this one, but it was like, it was $5 appetizers, like anything. And so we just had it was Monday night. It was like Monday Night Football. We had just a table full of fried shit. And then we were just pounding like craft beer because it's Beer Bistro. And he just got up and he's like, guys, I gotta go take care of something. And he walked towards the back where there's a bathroom with a door and everything. And occupado. So he went downstairs. He comes back up. He's like, I was sitting there blowing that thing up. People are coming in. I'm like just waving, talking to them.
$5 appetizers. Hey, how you doing?
Better than shit in my pants. What's up?
Oh my God.
Good shit.
I guess I better pay some bills, huh?
Good to see you, fucks.
Let's do it.
If you've been following my Twitter account, you know I've been betting the Make It Rain promo at PointsBet. Here's how it works. Bet at least $50 on the spread of the Make It Rain game of the day. Every three-pointer that your team makes, you get $3 in free play. If I can keep this shit up, I'll have bets on almost every team in Major League Baseball to win their division, except for the Cubs and anyone else in the AL Central. Because, fuck those guys. So get over to pointsbet.com. Use promo code 1080. Sign up and get $250 free with your $250 deposit. And then make it rain. All right, fellas.
Ooh, beautiful. Nice read.
Quick 108 tourney update. We got March 11th. Just a reminder to everybody, March 11th is the tourney reveal show. That's going to be Thursday night, aka Lil Friday night. We're going to be doing that.
Lil Friday.
And then that Saturday, we're going to be doing the St. Pat's first call show. So this is going to be a morning show. We're going to have some drinks with some peeps.
Yep.
Get some Sox talk, get some St. Patrick's Day stories going. It's going to be a real fun morning for you. Probably start around like 9:00 in the morning. It's going to work a lot like the Sox Fest show. Yep. We unfortunately will not have Nosh Jelson with us. He's
Booty King is opening
in
Fort Lauderdale.
He's putting the he's closing on Booty King that day.
He can't be there.
We're gonna have some fun very soon, obviously. But yeah, so he won't be there, unfortunately, but I'm sure at some point during the day we'll get some comments from him, probably making fun of how drunk we are at 10 a.m.
Yep. I mean, that's a possibility. It's
all right.
A possibility.
Fellas, let's get into some baseball.
Let's do it, baby.
Once again, I feel like my Sox summer has got something on his chest. He just wants to get it off his chest. Why don't you tell us what are you raging about today?
I don't want to be typecast as the angry white guy in the group. Okay, I don't want to be.
Well, you're definitely the white guy.
The key.
If the shoe fits,
angry. I'll be typecast as the white guy. I don't want to be the angry guy that has to.
These are token white.
I'm the token white. Yeah,
okay.
Token white. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now I'll say this. I told you guys last week. I fixed my sunglasses. I have the My Sox Summer Lokes are back in the rotation.
Nice.
So when I go into My Sox Summer rant mode, I am going to put those on. So right now I am putting them on.
Oh.
All right. I'm going to talk about Tim Anderson's comments about Tony La Russa and the action or the inaction of the people on the Twitter machine. Okay? That's more about the roundabout way I'm going to say it. Back when La Russa was hired, our 2020 batting champion, Tim Anderson, was on the minds of all Sox fans. La Russa had made some comments and then doubled down on them years later concerning protests by athletes. Were the comments dumb? Sure. And the Southside's favorite outspoken athlete said, "I won't change my style, the way I play." How was he going to get along with his new old manager? Many people jumped in on the discussion. Most notably, Ken W.O. predicted that we would learn on the 23rd. Our soon-to-be all-star shortstop, Tim Anderson, said, "The drive to want to win, he has that. I'm behind him 110%. That's the ultimate goal, is to win the World Series here. I'm behind him." And he wasn't even done. He wasn't even done, guys. He says, "I think he's pretty solid. So far, everything has been great. The things he has been preaching have been good. I think we got the right man. I hope so." Wow. That's fucking beautiful. It's really comforting that your star player has embraced his manager, because the narrative behind our newest manager is one that is very complicated. He has a World Series pedigree in the dugout, but outside the game, he is looked at as a racist and a drunk. I won't apologize for him. Drinking and driving is really fucking selfish. And in this day and age, it's so fucking stupid. I wanted to say another word there, but I'm not going to say it. I've never really understood the racist part, as I don't see too many racists hiring black men to be their GM, Dave Stewart. But I also don't know Tony. I don't see this guy like Jerry, who, despite what you hear, has allowed his organization to be on the forefront lines since 2007 with the ACE program, which is the Amateur City Elite, which helps inner city youth get on that baseball field, a program that Tim is very involved in. And I don't think that that guy would overlook a thing like hiring a racist to bring into the company. But I'm not going to get out and get caught up on the racist stuff. But again, I don't know these guys, so I don't know. Who knows? Now, what angers me just a little is that when your star fucking player, a guy who says whatever's in his head, says he and the manager, whatever he says about the manager is immediately dismissed as him just making the best of it. Or he doesn't really mean that. He's just being told to say that. I could see it better if he had just said something that wasn't so, glowing. He didn't have to go beyond just being behind him. He could have ended it there. I think much like our guys, Sox in the Basement, said, the assumption that TA was going to be the person that we couldn't work with Tony La Russa was insulting to Tim Anderson. I 110% agree. I like what Tim Anderson did here. He didn't blow up upon the hire. He took some time, went into spring training with an open mind, and had a meeting with his manager. He got to know the guy who wants to lead his team to glory. And the thing we've learned through this process is how the real world kind of works. You aren't always going to be best friends with your boss. Your friends might end up doing you a solid when you need one. Many of the jobs that I've landed were because of who I know or because I knew somebody. They gave me a chance because somebody vouched for me and said, hey, this guy's probably pretty good at what he does. You might want to let him come in. And I'll say this, winning a couple World Series is a pretty fucking good vouch. It really happens out there. And sometimes you might see something, you might like something that might not align with all of your morals. So you can't be 100% morally aligned with companies that your sports teams you like, or everybody that's on an organization that is just like a mass with tons and tons of fucking people, right? You can either write it out or you can make your stand, and I will support you in any endeavor in what you want to do in that regard. Both are acceptable. I'm glad TA is here and he's ready to win. Personal shit aside, Tony La Russa is qualified to lead this team. The narrative out of camp from the players is the bar has been raised and by the management, and they're being held responsible for what they do, which is fucking awesome. So as we move forward, maybe we all just be a little more like Tim Anderson. Let's see how it goes before we make an end-all, be-all decision. Let's take in a whole new view, not just look in the dark corners. It's a fresh look, and we need these guys to get on the same page because the quicker, the better, the more wins, everything. I'm done.
Oh, good. Now we can talk about how much bullshit that all was.
Go for it.
I'll let you go first, Treasy. But I was thinking.
No, I mean, like, honestly, like, what did you expect him to say? Did you expect him to be like, "Fuck this guy" as you're walking into spring training? Like, and you even said it at the end. Well, let's see how this goes. Well, yeah, if it goes real shitty in like the first couple months, then I want to see what people are saying. Like, you know, like a team that just went to the playoffs and now has brought in some new players, is going to spring training, everyone's in the best shape of their lives, all that shit. Like you're gonna be like, yeah, you know, I met him, he's good, I'm behind him 110% until shit goes wrong. When shit goes wrong, let's see how everyone feels. Let's see who likes who.
Okay, but what I said, like, I think what the biggest thing for me in this past week has been that there was such a lack of response to anything that has been said even this whole week. There's people aren't even really up in arms about anything. And one of the things I couldn't find it, Loaf, and I was trying to find it was I feel like Timmy posted an emoji, and people were like,
Emojicon.
What the fuck? What the fuck is this? You know, like he put an eyes thing next to some tweet, but yet when the man speaks, people don't necessarily take what he says seriously. Which I just like, if it was any other player, like I could understand it a little bit different. I don't think Tim Anderson is in this, and he's not out there to just be like some general vanilla star. Like I think he wants to have when he says something, he puts a spin on it. He's got a little swag. That's his thing, right? And that's how he is. I don't think that if he was disappointed in like where things are or where it's at with him, that he would say, like he would act like that. I just don't think he would. I think it's being unfair to him, as Sox in the Basement also
my Sox Summer. Let me ask you a question about Tim Anderson. Okay, would you agree with this statement? Tim Anderson is the smartest White Sox player when it comes to building his brand and knowing exactly what his brand is.
I think he is. I think he's very good at building a brand.
And very good at being aware of what goes on in social media and what people like to see. He's smart that he has his own photographer, and he's very forward with putting pictures out there of him and stuff.
He's controlling the narrative.
There is no one, you're goddamn right, and there's no one smarter at this on this White Sox team than Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson's not going to come out there and throw the manager under the bus immediately. Like Treasy's saying, when some shit goes wrong, then you'll hear whispers in the background that, oh, well, this was that or whatever. Right now, he gets no victory. There's no points awarded for coming out and saying anything other than throwing flowers all over the place. He may like Tony. He may not like Tony. I don't know. I didn't learn anything from anything he said, in my personal opinion. He's good at managing his brand. He knows we haven't played a lick of fucking baseball yet. Why make yourself a story by saying, you know what, I don't like the asshole manager? Why would you come out and say that? Like, it makes no sense to go in the other direction. It makes all the sense to go in the direction of, I will soft shoe this and say everything's fine.
I also don't think that, like, Tony came in trying to ruffle feathers and trying to take him down a peg.
Correct.
Right? It's not Dusty Baker calling Bryce Harper Royce, right? He's coming in. He probably had a nice conversation with him. And after you have a nice conversation with somebody, what are you gonna do? Go out and go like, you know, we sat down, we talked about what we want to do this year. He gave me some pointers on what he saw in my game, and, you know, told me about all the things that he's looking to do with the team. And you know what? Fuck that guy. He's racist. Like, that's not going to be the statement. Like,
also, you got to look at it from Tony's perspective. Okay. So whatever you think about Tony, a lot of people didn't like the Tony hire. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of it because I've thought Tony's a jagoff even before any of these DUIs or anything like that, which just adds to it. But whatever you think about Tony, Tony's very intelligent too. Tony knows better than to do anything that would ruffle Tim's feathers right the fuck out of the gate. Now, if we get into May and Tim's having a bad BABIP year and he's hitting 225, then we'll see. I agree with Treasy. Let some shit happen, and then we'll see what the relationships look like. None of them have been under any stress yet. This is the easiest fucking part of the year. So it doesn't matter. To me, a lot of these things, when they're coming out, people on Twitter are grandstanding. Oh, yeah, my opinion was right. You don't know shit yet. Nothing's happened yet. Wait till some shit happens, in my opinion.
Both sides don't know anything then.
Agreed.
Because
agreed.
the other side was saying, well, he's not going to fucking get along with him because of this, and this.
I agree with that.
Like this, and this. And I think the thing with Tim Anderson, I mean, it's just it's another thing to throw out there. The man has backed up his talk so far. And until he stops like backing it up, like, he can talk as much shit as he fucking wants. And we discussed that. I mean, it went in one of our group chats today. Like, it's like, if he ever had a down year, bro, he's gonna get fucking lit up like a motherfucker.
There's no question.
He throws it out there, and that's another thing. And this is why I think something coming from a Tim Anderson is a little bit different than some regular Joe Schmo player. I think that he says what he fucking feels. I honestly believe that he wouldn't have sold it. Now, I will admit this. Reading back some of his comments, I was like, this is not as fucking sexy as I thought it was when I first read it. But I still, maybe I was high, maybe it was something was going on. But it still remains to me like it seems like more of an oversell because I haven't heard this from all the other players. Now, I was listening to like the Aaron Bummer. I saw Aaron Bummer's comments, and he was just like, you know, they're talking, and this was the thing that like we'd heard about the Ricky regime too, is like guys kind of showed up when they wanted to and kind of like did their thing when they wanted to, and like that seems to have fucking changed. It's like, no, you get your ass here at this time and this head. You know, Ozzie had that big thing where he would fine guys if they weren't out for the national anthem. You know, like you'd sign them like 2,000 if they weren't ready to go. Like he kept a schedule. He kept these guys fucking under, you know, they were whipping on him. So Ricky might not have done that. So, it's something that I like, and I like hearing from other players, especially like a Bummer, he's not a star, you're not like a huge star, but like somebody who's like, hey, this is fucking different than it was last year. Like we're focused and we're doing this, you know, and that's good to hear.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing though. I think way back in the rebuild, if I remember this correctly, it was like, oh man, Ricky is really instilling how to play with these guys. Remember, Ricky would find people, he would bench people if they misplayed something or whatever. And then when he got to the point where he had the adult team, he treated them like adults. I don't understand everyone needs to be so regimented. Remember, these are fucking professionals. Like, I know at my job, I don't want my boss right here on my fucking neck all goddamn day. And, you better do this at this time and this at this time. All that shit's overrated because no one does anything of consequence. So they think, it's grade school again. You got to be regimented on exactly where you have to go. These are goddamn professionals. They know what the work they're supposed to do.
And not only professionals, like the best of the best, right?
The best.
This is
the
like
best.
the few hundred best players on the whole planet.
I'm not ragging on you, my Sock Summer. I'm ragging on the people in general that are like, oh, good. Yeah, he's whipping them into shape.
No, it's not.
They don't need that shit. Like, I think maybe there's one or two guys on the roster who, they're lazy and they don't get their work done or whatever. They don't push themselves.
Hey, Carlos Rodon segment was last week.
But I mean, guys on this team who work their balls off all the time, and it's been documented. The Tim Anderson types and the Jose Abreu types. These guys are working hard all the goddamn time. I don't think they need Tony La Russa to tell them, work hard or do this or whatever.
I think there are certain guys. I mean, there
are certain guys. I would agree with
guys that need a kick in the ass, and one of them might play third base. But I'm just saying that, you have to. You got to have to remember.
You kick him in the ass, you'll break your foot.
These kids, some of these guys have been fucking not. And I'm not trying to get into this discussion fully, but like they've had a different way, and like when you've been given a shitload of money, sometimes you can become immediately lazy. You're like, listen, I just achieved what I wanted to achieve, and maybe you don't have that internal drive, and like especially at an age like in your 20s, like it might not be there, especially if it's all been handed to you and it's been talent driven to this point to get there. Like to make that next step to continue to improve and continue to learn and continue to do things, I think sometimes does take somebody behind you yelling at you saying, hey, let's keep this moving, or hey, get your ass here and come do this.
How dare you bring Tony Manrich into this conversation?
I get your point, but I think it's a little too simplistic, and I think everyone kind of believes that. That's like the broad thing that everyone believes. I've been, I'm not a professional. My Sock Summer, I'm not a professional athlete, but I've been on a bunch of teams in my life. Some of them really shitty, and some of them really good. I am a professional accountant. I've been at some companies that have been real shitty, or groups that are real shitty, and some that are real good. Most of the difference in all of that has nothing to do with any of that shit. It has almost entirely to do with talent. If you have a lot of talent, you do well. If you don't have a lot of talent, you ain't going to be worth the shit. And that's kind of like all of life, all group activities in life kind of follow that. Yeah, maybe at the very tips, there is some edge there for certain types of people, but I think it's way oversold. It's a thing that's way oversold out there. And because everyone can understand, like, oh yeah, I'm a dumb fuck, so I screwed this up, and the coach told me I needed to do this, and so then I finally did it. But when you get up to a level where you really compete, most people don't need that. I don't think.
Well, what if it's a good to great thing? What if you're just trying to make a good to great jump? Like you could be the good, like, but you could move to a great if you like train, not trained harder, but like were like fell in line and kind of did like he had natural like things to like move forth. I don't know.
I'm kind of with my Sock Summer here. I'm going to disagree with you just a little bit, Beef, because here's the thing. So
the thing.
A lot of these guys at this top level have elite talent, right? But there is times when mental pieces don't kick in for you right away, right? And you just kind of glide on your talent. Like you get by on your talent. And then when something clicks where you kind of really understand something, or you see something in a different way. And I'm sure you think about it in terms of like mathematics, right? Like, you took calculus, right?
Yeah.
And like it's really difficult.
Allegedly.
And then if once you get it though, then it like, oh man, like things make a lot of sense all of a sudden, and you can really understand it. And then you can like really accelerate, right? And so I think that happens with players. And if there's a coach that could help someone get to that point, even in a professional career, especially guys like a Tim Anderson who doesn't have a lot of career leading up to it, I think there are scenarios like that, and so I don't want to discount that.
I'm not saying
exists.
I'm not saying it's zero sum. I'm saying there are some, and I kind of agree that it does happen, but it gets oversold that, oh, that's the key. That's the thing that you need to unlock this thing. It's not. Maybe for a handful of players it is. But
I'm not saying that.
I think, Pat, there are things, and I called you by your real name.
Yes.
I didn't just fuck up.
There are scenarios where, like, it doesn't have to be so drastic, right? But it might be just that little thing that someone helps you notice, right? Think about this. Think about, you watched this interview too, and this is one of my favorite interviews of all time on MLB Network because it was weird. It was a weird interview. They had Ricky Henderson on, and he was talking like Harold Reynolds and someone else, and they're talking about stealing bases. And like anyone who's played baseball, you know that when you're watching the pitcher on the mound, you're like, especially if they're a right-handed pitcher, you're waiting for which foot is going to raise, and that's kind of what you're banking off of when you're going to steal a base. And they're like, Ricky, what were you looking at? And he's like, I looked at their elbow. And like, if they moved their elbow a certain way, I knew what was going to happen. And Harold Reynolds, who stole a shitload of bases in his career, like he was not like a slow guy. He was shocked by this revelation. and you could see it like clicking in his head, like, holy shit, this makes the most sense. And it was really one of those moments where you're kind of like, when something's taught over and over and over again, if someone could give you a different angle on it and someone could show you something just slightly different that makes a lot more sense to you, it can really have an impact, even if it's small. And I think that there's coaches like that. I don't think Tony La Russa is one of them, but I
well, he might be. I get your point though, but what I more meant is the idea that, oh yeah, you had to show up at the meeting at 7:08 because 7:15 isn't good enough is a lot. Or, oh, he makes them run hard in the pitcher drills. It's like, who gives a fuck? Like,
I'm with you
I
there.
agree with your point. Though. So I agree with you guys. If your point is, sometimes you just need a little change in perspective or just a little key to something. That I do get. And I think I don't know if it's a kick in the ass.
No,
sometimes
it's a kick in the ass.
No, it's not, because exactly what Treasy said was not a kick in the ass. Right, it was just an understanding of something.
Yeah,
an interpretation of something.
Everyone, it is.
There are guys that need a kick in the ass. My Sox Summer generally needs a kick in the ass.
I do need a kick in the ass from time to time.
Treasy and I don't need a kick in the ass. We got a lot of fire
anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore. You guys have definitely got over the kick in the ass point. And I was going to bring that up too. And I think it's unfair, Loaf, that like for you to use your insane work ethic. Well, and your brother feels
regular
the same
dope.
way too.
No,
that's not true. That's totally not true. And it's not true. So shut the fuck up. You are constantly challenging yourself. You're constantly challenging yourself on a weekly basis to do more of this, do more of that, cut more lumber with this little thing, have more bonfires, there's these things like you do stuff because you're a fucking
little saw.
I hate you guys.
I can't wait to come back to the beef deck and you'd be like, you know what I did the other night? I'll be like, what'd you do? And you're like, I tried to see if I could cut this thing with one continuous go. So I just sat there for 30 minutes and went nuts, or whatever. No, but and it's like, and your brother has the same thing. You guys are constantly fucking working, thinking, and doing something. And I'm in that same boat, or I think I was initially.
Yes, you are. I think
I've slowed down a lot because of life and whatever. And I think I'm ramping back up because we're getting hopefully towards something that we're going.
No, you're in that same boat too, my Sox Summer, and that's why I find it interesting that you think, that especially at that level. I get it. Like if someone's doing something they don't want to do, I get that. But for someone
I think we're unique.
That maybe.
I don't think there's a lot of people that have that. I think there's a lot of people that float by on talent, float by on things that that come natural. I think there's not a lot of people that challenge themselves to continually to go and do things. So
Luke Taylor would like me to drink out of this.
Beef. I thought there was ice cream under there. That's what I thought we were gonna see.
Luke Taylor requested that I drink out of this green Sox helmet, so we're gonna do it. Man, I hope there wasn't anything else in this.
I know
it's 100%
from the ground at the Sox Park.
It smells less. I mean, it tastes less like feet. So that we're gonna go with this. All right.
That sounds. I don't know how you're gonna hold that. Like that's a.
I think it's flat on the top. It's flat. It's like flat on the top. It's not.
It's flat, so you can set it down.
Weak.
Yeah.
That's weak.
It's a Sunday helmet. Teresi, what the fuck?
Dude, if you put your Sunday down, it melts. There's no reason to ever put it down. You just shovel that in your face like you're Patrick Bertoletti.
I don't want to like. I don't want to. I don't want to say that the team dynamic has totally changed, but I like having somebody come in, especially saying something that like other players thought, like especially Dallas Keuchel, thought was missing from last year. That people were kind of on their own schedule, kind of doing their own thing, and like, hey, we're bringing this together. Let's get together as a cohesive unit and be a team, you know. And I think that's where you'll get some successes. So
you guys sold me. I'm ready to sing Kumbaya. You sold me. I'm ready to sing Kumbaya, and now I believe that Tony's kicking the pants. 103 wins. I'm in. Count me in, baby. I'm in.
Was that what I was trying to sell you on? I was just trying to sell you on your bullshit talent argument. All right. Speaking of bullshit,
fishbowl and green helmets.
And this article's not bullshit. I love James Fegan, and he did a nice piece with Mr. Hahn, and I read it, and I think people, got up in arms about the money will be spent things and all these different things. And he said some stuff about right field and blah, 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 blah. Rick Hahn is great at saying nothing while saying a lot, or the opposite, whatever. And so, Beef, you're fucking with me right now.
This is insane.
But there was something kind of sandwiched in there that I found interesting. And it says something about where Rick Hahn likes to play and about maybe the risk profile that he's getting into, and maybe his misunderstanding or his misspeaking about the risk profile. So there's a part in there, and this is not a direct quote. But this is what Fegan writes. He says, for Hendricks, he believes shopping at the top of the market and grabbing someone who misses bats at such an elite rate should insulate the White Sox from drastic performance slippage. Plus, the volatility of relievers is, and this is in quotes, already cooked into the market price. To me, these are two very different statements. And so I wonder if Hahn actually said the first part or alluded to the first part.
Right.
But if he did, that feels wrong. That just feels like absolutely wrong. Like, I mean, you only have to look across town to see that, like, buying at the top of the market in the reliever market is not any type of sure thing. You're not insulating yourself from risk at all.
Right.
Even look at some of the top paid relievers, like guys like Kenley Jansen and Will Smith. They're not bad, but they're also not a guy that you'd pay top dollar for anymore. Right. Like, so it's weird that was in there. And it's also interesting because he mentions the Yasmani Grandal contract as well as one of his big pieces. And so now you're looking at two contracts where he's buying at the top of the market, but in a depressed market because of the volatility. And so part of me is like, I like what he's doing here. He's seeing that within his confines, he can go and get the top guy at these positions because the volatility makes it so risky to other teams that the price is going to drop to a level where he's good. Right. And so I like that. Call. But if he's thinking that insulates him from risk, I don't like that. Like this should, like, you should realize, like, if you're doing this, that you're going like, I'm going to spend less and try and get the top guys in these positions because they're riskier guys, and I'm going to roll the dice. And if they both hit, man, I've got something, right? Like I've really taken my budget, which is we like, let's all agree, he doesn't have a huge budget.
Correct.
Right. And he's going to work within those confines. And I'm not the biggest Rick Hahn fan. You guys know that. But at the same time,
I'm not either.
If he's taking this angle, I kind of like it. If he's recognizing that there's a lot of risk in it, if he's really like, if I were him, Beef, I would do this. You know why? It's just like the banks. My risk of getting fired is very low. So why not try and bet on these two pieces? I stay within my boundaries, and I sure, ton of risk, but if I hit on these things, I can be like this world champion. I could go I'll at least go to the playoffs, right? And so I kind of really like it. I don't like the lead in, and I'm concerned that was conveyed in the interview.
Yeah, Treasy, I mean, you're building off a point that you and I together were making back during the draft. That when the White Sox they picked Garrett Crochet, and then the stars kind of aligned, and Jared Kelly, who is a top 10 talent, but had some risk issues with him, fell back to their spot. And now a team, that is adept at scouting, is really good at drafting, wouldn't have taken that shot at Jared Kelly. They would have said, we trust our scouting and everything. We'll get an underpriced. We'll get a guy for cheaper than his value here. Like we're going to get in all our draft spots. And some of it, I mean, I'm encouraged that maybe Hahn realizes his shortcomings and is like, let's nip this in the bud. I don't really believe that strongly in our drafting crew. So fuck it. The only thing we're really good at drafting is kind of like low-end reliever guys that we can develop. Let's shoot the moon here and let's go for the shot. And I think this is kind of in the same risk category, Treasy. Like, right? It's extra like risky. That, so right? When you were saying it, I thought this sounds exactly like that shit from back there. Like, and you're right. He realizes the other teams won't go up high enough because they don't want to take the risk, right? Now the players are worth that, but risk adjusted. So like, yes, you're going to take a huge amount of risk. Now, I may slightly disagree with you on the point in the overall risk, but you need a lot of those, not just one or two. Otherwise, then it's still extremely risky. If you have 8 of those, then you're going to probably get enough to turn out where when the ones that break or fail, you're going to be okay as a group. He doesn't do that, though.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. Like he doesn't have to. Like if he were really trying to mitigate the risk because he was worried about losing his job, there'd be a whole bunch of other guys like that. Right. Like he would have went top of the market on the utility guy. Right. And he would have went top of the market on maybe like a 5th starter. Right. Like he would have outbid people, and like a Jake Arrieta would have come in as a 5th starter, right? Like he would have won in all these places where there was risk, and said, okay, well, I'll make these 6 risky signings, but if 2 or 3 of them work out, we're solid. He went like, I'm going top of the market for these 2 risky ass positions in the past 2 years, and what I'm saying is, I don't mind it. I don't mind rolling the dice on these, but kind of feels like a fixed game, and to then go, we're insulating ourselves from the risk by paying all this money, it seems really wrong. And so like I'm there's part of me that's like, Rick, go do your thing. I like what you're doing here. And there's another part of me going like, you're playing with house money, and I don't like that, it's the money I'm throwing in.
He's got, like I mentioned in the last podcast, he's got the free option. He's got the Rick Rubin trade. Robert Rubin, not Rick Rubin.
Robert Rubin too. He wants him to become the Cobb County Crows.
He's got only the upside, right? Like you're saying, Treasy, he's got upside only because he doesn't get fired when it fails. But when it works, he gets accolades, and the media protects him from it too. So like he doesn't have it from that side. The only side he has, which he mentions in the article, he's annoyed by Twitter coming at him. The Twitter people are we're getting the facts wrong, and people are coming at him. Summer, go ahead. I'll get out of the way.
2 things from the article, 2 or 3 things from the article. There's the first thing is, I thought it was really awesome that Rick Hahn took time out of his day to dunk on one Kobe's burner for saying that the money will be spent guys are the worst fucking guys, worst takes on Twitter. So in your face, Dylan Covey's burner. Rick Hahn just dunked on you, bitch, in an article. Second thing that I took from the article, which I thought was very weird, there was a sentence that James had made, and he wrote like Kopech, and then it says like Yaz and then he says Keuchel, and then in quotations next to Keuchel, they wrote Dallas because there's another Keuchel on the team that we might have confused him with. And like, what stood out to me as like a fake journalist anyway is he right before it he says Yaz, which Yas or YAS right before it, and you're just like, well, that could be a little bit construed as somebody else. I don't know who, but I thought that was funny. Now, the one thing that I thought was the big meat of the whole thing for me was him saying, we've chosen to spend money wisely versus just spend more. And I was like, what? You've chosen to do neither. Like, as far as I can tell, you've done none. Like, you haven't done either one of those things, because you can't say, oh, well, yeah, we didn't spend $18 million on this guy, but we spent $7 million on this guy, and look at the returns. The only player that they got a really high return on, or two players that they got a really high return on for the money so far to me, and I don't know, you guys can alert me to somebody else, but James McCann and Daniel Palka. Those are the only two that they got a serious amount of good return for least amount of money. Like, I mean, honestly, I just don't like, maybe some of the pitchers, and then I'm just not like, it's a defensive thing, and I don't really get it as much. But like the offensive side, you can see more, and I feel like James McCann and Palka are the only two that like he's really scored on that have done something and like have like changed games, for a cheap price. So yeah, I don't know. It was a great, I mean, I like the read. I like how it also confirms to me that account that we say is Rick Hahn's Twitter account is 100% Rick Hahn's Twitter.
Yes.
Because the exact same things that he tweets are the same things he said in there. Like,
My Sox Summer, I wasn't going to
100%.
get into that. I wasn't going to get into that, but yes. That I read this and I was like, that account, probably him.
I want to like, I don't want to.
Don't blow up the spot.
I'm not going to. I'm not
going to say the account, but I mean,
I
don't follow many accounts with like with no followers, so you can go through my followers and figure it out.
I try not to, like, I wanted to tweet so many times at it and just be like, hey, what do you think of this? Or like, hey, do this, like, or whatever. But, and I'm like, no, because if it's him, I want to keep it that way. Right. And I think that's the 90s in us. You're like, listen, I'll tell my friends about this band, but I'm not going to tell everybody about this band.
You got to keep it quiet so it keeps going.
Good, because I still want to be able to go to the Metro and like get a drink and then walk back to the front of the stage to enjoy the show. Like, I don't want to have to like start fucking shoving people like left and right to get to the front to like enjoy what I used to enjoy. I don't want to blow my shit up, like you said, Loaf. Blow the spot up. You don't want to blow the spot up, because then all of a sudden people are gonna be like, yo, you get titties in your face for $1 here, or whatever. It's just like, let's just keep it Beef. Locals only.
Beef, you remember that those was it Little Fridays? Was it Thursday nights at Metro, the $5 shows?
I think those were Tuesday nights.
Were those Tuesdays?
Tuesday nights, $5 shows. Yeah, you get 3 bands for $5. I mean,
those were always amazing. I remember me and you should do a separate video just talking about that Souls show that we saw, because that was like, shit that blew my young mind.
Yeah, because those were all ages shows, but it was not an all ages activity that was going on stage.
Not an all age. I was like, well, what's going on here?
May I smell that finger now?
Oh.
Hello.
Hey, you're giving away too much. We're gonna blow our show.
I'm cracking open the next beer. It's out of Tampa, Florida. It's a from 81 Bay. It is a coffee porter.
Oh wow!
Oh man, I can't wait for your ad read in a little while.
It's a porter. Porters are light. That's why I chose it.
So Beef, I feel like you got a little bit of a White Sox preview for us. You're gonna pepper, maybe absolute pepper.
Oh,
me and My Sox Summer with some questions about some dudes. I don't have any notes for this.
Nor should you.
Neither do I.
You gave us a list of names, and I'm like, I know who those guys are. So
you have heard of them, okay?
So I will take it from there, and you can just run with this and tell me what you want to ask us about all these wonderful men.
Awesome. So, as we do in the 108, instead of bringing you this same kind of preview that a lot of other podcasts would do, they're obviously going to do it better than us. So we got to pick a different lane, a different angle. So I'm going to, instead of reading stats or strictly talking about player analysis, somewhat, we like to choose a different angle on this thing. Longtime listeners will remember this angle that we're going to do tonight. This is my players multiple choice. We're going to go through the players. I'm going to give you multiple choices, and you're going to decide how the player's season is going to be based on the multiple choice selections I give you. Those of you who watch us a lot, things like the horniness meter are examples of the way we kind of change the game for the way we're doing the podcast to explain how we feel about particular players. We think it's more productive, more fun to do that than just straight reading stats. And truth be told, we're just not that good at just reading stats and analyzing players. So we just make fun of each other and of the players, and that's a better show for all of you. So we're going to do infielders tonight.
Nice.
And we're going to go right down the line. And I'm going to start off with the MVP. He's in COVID protocol right now, Jose Abreu. We're going to call this category of multiple choice the boss. Okay. Jose Abreu's 2021 season. Is he going to be most like A, Paulie Cicero from the 1990 classic Goodfellas, B, Jackie Aprile Sr. from the hit TV series The Sopranos, or C, Marlo Stansfield from the hit TV series The Wire? Bosses. My Sock Summer, why don't you go first?
Last one. Which one was he?
Marlo from The Wire.
That kind of takes over the whole.
He takes over at the end. He's the younger kid. He's a young kid. Yes, that's right.
I'm gonna go with A.
Paulie Cicero. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Paulie.
Nice. Dreezy, how about
B,
you?
But I'm gonna go with A.
So
are you thinking B?
I was thinking B.
The problem with B. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Dreezy.
I'm gonna go with Marlo, and here's why I'm gonna go with Marlo. Mm-hmm. Because I think that for a long time, and we've all loved Jose.
Yep.
Right. We've all been huge fans of him. I mean, everyone who's watching this, even some of you who are watching this going, oh man, I wanted him to bat sixth last year. Even you people.
Even you suck.
Use guys.
Yeah.
We all love Jose. And we always thought, man, this guy's an underrated player. Right. And Marlo was way underrated.
Oh,
right? Like he was overlooked. They didn't think much of him, but he was taking over shit. And he completely took over shit. And then he's with, was it Levy? They're at the
he's the attorney. Yep.
He's at the thing. And he's like, and I think that's Abreu right now. They got him on all the shows, and he's the face of like, oh, he's the MVP and all that shit. He doesn't want that shit. He wants to get back to the streets and do what he does. Right. And I think that's going to be it. He's going to come back and he's going to be like, I don't give a shit about all this MVP thing. I don't want to do fucking 100 interviews. Someone else can do that. What I want to do is hit the ball real fucking hard and pretty straight, actually. And that's what I'm going to do all season. And I'm going to play 184 games of the 162 at first base because no one's moving me off this fucking position. Like that's what I want to see. That's his corner. He wants that corner. I'm saying he's Marlo.
You goddamn right. I love that choice. My Sock Summer, you can't pick B, Jackie Aprile Sr. because in Sopranos, he was the boss at the beginning and he died of cancer.
Yeah,
so that would have been a bad season. That's the Abreu version of a bad season. So you can't pick him.
That's kind of what I'm worried about. And that's the thing. Like,
okay.
Here's like my thought process on that though, is that he's already got it out of the way that, oh shit, I got COVID. It worked for Moncada last year and he's not fired. He's still back. So maybe I can say this. He's like, and then I'll have a shitload of fun in Northwest Indiana. I'll be up in the region partying my balls off and like, no one knows the wiser. They're like, man, motherfucker had COVID. Just let him go. Just don't even talk to him. Let him do his thing. He's fine. He won MVP last year. Let's let him slide.
I'm gonna say Abreu's a little bit different of a dude because
I don't know, man.
When he won the MVP,
mornings at Sox Fest,
he's in his house. He's got a picture of his goddamn grandmother behind him, and that's who he's most proud to have with him at the two. She's passed, and that's who's most proud to have with him at the thing. This is a different dude. This is not I'm a flashy, go out and do shit, dude. This is a dude that wants to be on his corner.
As I said, you see this motherfucker on a Sunday morning, Saturday morning at Sox Fest. eyes are redder than fucking Cheech and Chong's, and he's got a big old fucking Cuban cigar, and it's 117 degrees and smells like BO, and he's wearing a fucking, a stocking cap. Like this motherfucker is like, he don't give a fuck. He likes to party.
He's a warrior.
That don't mean he went out and he's partying in Northwest Indiana. That means he was sitting on the beef deck like us till 1 in the morning.
Now,
and you guys till 3 in the morning. I'm asleep at the Uber at 1 in the morning.
Allegedly,
you're asleep at the Uber at 11. So no, let's not play.
Oh, all right. Damn, man. Damn. Shots fired here. Shots fired.
It's been years since we hung out.
It has been years.
Don't act like you know me.
I don't know you. I don't know you. I should not bro you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Loaf.
How dare you guys? All right, let's move on to the next player, and that is
fun side.
That is the second baseman, Nick Madrigal, and we're gonna call this category Little Big Hits. All right, we're gonna start off with: is Nick Madrigal's 2021 season going to be like A, Filter's 1995 release Short Bus?
So good.
B, the popular Chicago burger joint Small Cheval? Or C, the car, the Mini Cooper? And let's start with Chirizi first on this one.
All right. So I'm gonna go with Short Bus. And here's why I'm gonna go with Short Bus. And it's not because of his shortness.
No, and none of these all short names, but they all, none of them have anything to do with being short.
Because if you remember from the 90s, if you guys were industrial fans, Richard Patrick, the singer of Filter, was in Nine Inch Nails prior to that.
Yes.
So it was very much like Nine Inch Nails is up here and Filter is about right here. But this is really great up here, right? And Filter was still in a really, really nice spot. And no one wanted to admit it, but lyrically horrible. Probably one of the worst lyricists of the 90s, Richard Patrick. And don't believe me, go listen to those songs.
No, listen to them. Horrible. Yeah, they're bad.
And I think that's kind of what Nick Madrigal is we know what he is. It's good. It's not incredible.
Yep.
There's flaws. Let's just admit that there's flaws and that it's going to be good and we can enjoy it. I enjoy the hell out of that album and I will enjoy the hell out of Nick Madrigal's season, but he is by no means going to be some groundbreaking player, just like Richard Patrick is no groundbreaking artist. All right. And Take a Picture in the follow-up really drives that home for everybody.
Oh, but
that's garbage.
So good, but it was still a hit though. Wasn't Take a Picture a big hit? Well, it was a big hit.
That's all Madrigal does. It's a hit factory.
It's a hit.
Doesn't mean it's good.
That's right.
So what?
My Sock Summer. Would you like me to repeat the choices?
Because my mind was gonna go with Filter too, but I want to make it fun.
You could you could do the same thing and say it's because weak hits.
All right, let me run these down again. It is A,
Filter's
1995 release Short Bus. B, the popular Chicago burger joint Small Cheval. Or C, the car, the Mini Cooper.
So this is what I'm gonna say. So it's gonna be C. It's gonna be once again, it's same as Filter. Like it's not like the high end. It's there. It had sustainable sales. If people liked it, it was good enough, right? But it wasn't like, I mean, listen, you got the PT Cruiser that's right here. You got the Mini Cooper that's probably above the PT Cruiser. Mm-hmm. So he's not going to be the PT Cruiser, which I'll say like, I don't know, Gordon Beckham. So like he'll be right above that in the Mini Cooper list, but it's not going to be that popular. People aren't going to like it all that much, so he's not going to be the creme de la creme. Same kind of deal as what Chirizi was talking. Also, I feel like it's funny that you pick something small, not full size, to pick on our little guy, Nicky Mads. So yeah, I'm going to go with that. I don't know what the middle place is. I think it's a expensive boob joint.
No, so it's the small version of Cheval.
Yes.
So it's, but you know what the problem is, Beef? Food's not as good as Ashaval, from what I hear. That's
I mean,
what I hear on the streets.
Kind of my thought on the choices here, where these are all pretty good things.
Yeah.
They're
reasonably good things. They're good, not great,
good. I like
not bad, but kind of good. Like that was the whole group, and it was just letting you guys. It was just a palette for you guys to play on. That's
everything's a winner. Everything's a winner.
Pretty much.
Everything's fun size, and everything's a winner. Not that great, but not that bad.
Tell you what, I'm listening to some Filter later.
I'll be honest, not all of these are like that, but that one was. So let's move on.
Hold on, Terezi, I did look up the "Hey Man, Nice Shot" lyrics, and they're probably his best. So like, I'm not even gonna try to recite those because they're actually pretty good.
Those are good lyrics. The rest,
the other songs on the album, there's probably 9 other songs on the album, and they have 12 total lyrics.
Yes,
there's just a lot of music and almost no singing. I mean, like a little screaming, but that's about it. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, I think it's pretty close.
You're not wrong.
And I love the album.
I do too.
Is he the one that dated Louise Post?
No, that was you.
Well, no, but did he date Louise Post?
That also needs to be its own YouTube. Right
I think David Grohl dated.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right.
There was a guy from Filter that did.
I think
because
he
was.
Might have been Richard Patrick.
I feel like he was dating her like when they played autos at DeKalb, and I kissed her right in front of him. So that was pretty awesome.
Oh wow!
So I just wanna,
see, you know what? I knew it was
he had to
coming
bring
right
it up.
there.
He had to bring it up. All I know is that his brother is the Terminator and also Johnny Cash's dad somehow.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. No. I had just told Louise Post how much I had a crush on her when I was in high school, and she's like, come here. And then she gave me a big kiss, and I was like, yes, fuck yeah. It was fat Louise Post, but it was still good Louise Post. It was okay.
Dude, fat Louise Post is fine too. I mean,
so good.
Allegedly. All right. The next player is a guy we've already talked about ad nauseum tonight. I'm
sorry.
I think it's the one. No, what are you sorry about? We should talk about him fucking more. He's probably our favorite player collectively as a group on this team, and that's Tim Anderson. Okay, batting champ, 2019. Yep. So this category is going to be called rare and precious. Okay. Tim Anderson's 2021 season is going to be like A, Bitcoin, B, the Art Cave Kushner bobblehead, or C, emeralds. I would like My Sock Summer to start this multiple choice.
Here's what I want it to be. I want it to be Bitcoin. And this is why. Because every year that he comes back, like everyone's like, he's not going to have that year. And they're already started saying it. They say it every year. They're like, he's not going to do what he did last year. So just don't think that he's going to do that. So like, let's just write him off now. And let's focus on somebody else. So I want him to be like Bitcoin, because people write off Bitcoin also often too. And then about every 8 months, everyone's like, what the fuck, $40,000? And like, so then you're like, man, if I could remember that password, I'd have billions. So yeah. So like that, that's the thing, man. I think that I'm going to go with Bitcoin with my man TA, because he just keeps coming back and like this keeps telling people like you're sleeping on him. He's telling you he's sleeping on him. So you got to do that.
I love it.
I mean, that's the right answer. I mean, like it's Bitcoin.
You're like Dr. James Carville.
No, I mean,
that answer was perfect. I have nothing.
I'm gonna pile on like a 80s football tackle. Like
nice.
I think the reason it's Bitcoin is because there's volatility for sure. Like you're gonna see some volatility, but at the end of the day, we as Sox fans all see what people who prospect Bitcoin see is like, there's no way that this won't go up eventually.
Yes.
But like that this is good. There's scarcity. There's no one like this guy. We should just enjoy that we have it. And we're going to cash in big time.
He's destined to be great, and we know it, and we've known it the whole time. We've been holding strong, like the OG Bitcoiners who've been holding that shit since it didn't cost nothing, and now it's worth $50,000. I
guys,
love where you guys
the guys that are sitting there with $10 million in Bitcoin and going like, I'm not selling it $50,000. I'm going to be a billionaire. That's us right now, sitting with Tim Anderson, going, yeah, oh sure, yeah, BABIP, tell me about that. All right. If you hit the ball real hard and are real fast, you have a high BABIP. All right. I get it. There's a scarcity of this commodity. I'm holding on to this thing because $50,000 is the floor.
Yeah.
That's right. It's a great call, guys. I love it. All right, let's move on to another man, our third baseman. A man who may have a song out and a video that is just mesmerizing Sox Twitter right now. People have been playing it. They want us to get Snuggies and wear them in the 108, which if
Snuggies.
all of you,
Not Snuggies.
if all you fans want to buy these one piece, whatever the fuck the things
They're
they
jumpers. They're not Snuggies.
Jumpers.
They're jumpers.
I don't care. Whatever they are, we will wear them. I promise. I'll get my Sox Summer in one. Maybe not Treasy, but my Sox Summer will do it.
I'll wear one
if you buy them for us.
Get my right size. Don't
Yeah,
give me,
they can't. Be
don't
too
give me
tight.
like an don't get me an XL and be like it should.
Here we
fit.
go. Here we go. My Sox Summer's like, yeah, extra big in the crotch. He's gonna give you one of them.
No,
them
not
rooms
even
right
that.
there.
I'm not
Make
worried
it-
about that.
Make it extra roomy so my salchicha has room to breathe. you know?
I'm
That's
proud.
where he's
I'm
gonna
proud
go.
of everything in the downstairs.
We've got armadillos in our trousers. That's what he's saying.
I'm proud of all that shit. That can go flying out. I just want the gut to be protected. That's all I'm looking for.
We're not getting you a girdle, motherfucker. You're just wearing the one piece. All right? How dare you?
A singlet.
Yoan Moncada. I'm going to call this group a multiple choice. Third time's a charm.
All right.
Is Yoan Moncada's 2021 season going to be like A, Godfather 3, B, Rocky 3, or C, Nightmare on Elm Street 3? And I would love for Terezi E to start this one.
Man, is that Dream Warriors?
It is the Dream Warriors. That's correct. Yes. It might be my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm not sure.
You know, I'm gonna go with that one, and here's why I'm gonna go with that one. Is because I have this. Unfortunately, you guys are not gonna like this, but I think that Yoan Moncada's last season may be more representative of Yoan Moncada than the 2019 season.
Ooh, wow.
Like
that's
I
not
think he'll be
nice.
better than last year because
Not
I think
nice.
it was definitely, there was other things going on and
Yeah.
he'll be better than that. But like there's only one outlier year in the Moncada career, and
It's
it's
19.
19,
Yeah.
right? So I think along a similar line, but better than Madrigal. Like I think he's a very good player. I don't know that we shoot the moon with Moncada. And I think Nightmare on Elm Street 3 being probably one of my favorites, to be honest. And
really
I
good.
think that's a Dawkins soundtrack. If I'm remembering
That I don't know.
correctly. So there's all kinds of good parts about it. And like I really enjoy it. And I thoroughly think it's good. It's not as great as Rocky 3. I don't want to, Rocky 3 is probably the best movie ever made. And
Not even the best Rocky movie ever made.
Hello.
I
It's
mean,
very good though.
it's
Not
the
the
best
best.
Rocky movie ever made.
You're
And so,
insane.
but anyways, I think he's going to be very good, but I don't think that we should expect 2019 this year.
Moncada.
I just don't think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get a very good player and a player that I'm going to very much enjoy watching play. And so that's
in a romper.
that feels to me
In a romper. That's right.
something I very much enjoy to watch, but would never go, this is the best thing ever. Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
I did some Googling while you were there. Yes, Dokken is the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 soundtrack.
Yeah.
Good job.
Nice flex, Terezi.
I had to double check before I picked Rocky 3 to make sure that it was the movie I was thinking of, and it is. But
clever.
but there are some promotional pictures where Sylvester Stallone and Mr. T are the same height, and I'm just wondering how many apple boxes Sylvester Stallone is standing on
That's not.
in
Yeah.
these
That's
pictures, because there is
that's
no
not true.
fucking way. They're not even close. Like literally, in this scenario, Rocky Balboa would be a spinner because he is so small. He could just be right there, and Clever Lake could just spin him all around, put him where he wants him, do whatever he wants him, because Mr. T is a lot bigger than Rocky. Now, here's where I'm going to go.
Treasy, these 12%ers are kicking in right now. I can.
They are. I like where we're going.
Woo. So anyway, this is what I'm thinking. Okay, Clubber Lang. He's all the haters of Makata, right? He's all the people that hate Makata, hate his music, hate his jumpers, hate all that shit, rompers, jumpers, whatever. He beats them though. So he's going to come out in 2021 and he's going to smash the fuck out of that ball. And he's going to do good. I think we're going to see a return to form in 2019. I think we're looking at an all-star, a potential all-star third baseman from the White Sox with him and Timmy. I mean, come on.
I'm here
love
for
it.
it.
I love that.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
I'm going to take Rocky 3.
I do want to just throw this out. I want to ask you, My Sox Summer, because when is the last time you watched Rocky 3?
It's been a while, man.
It's been a while, right? So I want you to just you don't have to watch the whole movie. Okay. I just want you to go on YouTube and find the scene where Clubber is calling out Rocky.
Oh, I remember that.
Come back.
Yeah.
No, you might remember it in theory. I want you to go back and watch it and hear what he says to him, because it's the most emasculating shit of all time in any movie. And like, if anyone said this, if a real boxer said this to another boxer, there'd be a fucking murder. One of those guys would die. And so I want you to go back and watch it, because goddamn, like, that's good writing. Don't give me no Rocky 2 where he fucking wins. Give me where Clubber Lang beats the shit out of this soft pussy who hasn't been doing any work. That's the movie I want.
All right, two things on this one right there. I mean, I love both of you guys' points. No one mentions Thunder Lips, who's in the opening scene of Rocky 3. Get the fuck out of here. You guys got to be on point. Ken W.O. listens to this. He's going to be pissed at y'all for not even mentioning that shit.
What am I supposed to do?
I thought Deadspin laid out that podcasts can't talk about Thunder Lips anymore.
Peter Thiel already sued us because I mentioned that.
Yeah. I mean, I talked shit about Peter Thiel like 6 weeks ago, and now we're getting into Thunder Lips. We're done. We're
fucked here.
I'm going to stop this recording.
He's a lucky coin flipper. And number two, the chat is going absolutely apeshit over Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And K-Fid says, John Saxon partied like a boss. And I was thinking about it. I was like, in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, the mom is a drunk, right? I mean, she's drunk off her ass in that movie. Like, so that's probably true.
John Saxon, R.I.P. in peace.
Yeah,
that's not too long ago. I was bummed. Like, I remember seeing it and I was like, this dude is in like 95 horror movies that I love, and I didn't even remember that there's probably moments when there's Dokken playing behind John Saxon. Like, that's just an added bonus.
You're taking a victory lap on the Dokken, huh? I like that.
Of course.
All right, so let's get on to some catchers. So the first one is the catcher that Rick Hahn so bravely spent $73 million on. Which he patted himself on the back today in James Fegan's article. That is Yasmani Grandal.
Yep.
And let's call this category Old Reliable. Is Yasmani Grandal's 2021 season going to be like A, Goose Island Sox Ale, B, a cookout hamburger, or C, 5 minutes in the cold tub after the Sunday soak? I would love to start with My Sox Summer on this multiple choice.
What month is it?
July.
July? Man. Dude, I got to go with the cold tub, because honestly, like when we got out of like and this is another work ethic thing. Loaf is like the cold tub wouldn't even be that warm, and he'd be like, fuck this shit, we got to put new water in here, it's not cold enough, and he would make it cold. Like, it was still cold, but you were like, you got to make it colder because it's not cold enough. And I will say this, when it was like balls, like sweating hot, like so hot, like, and we're in a hot tub, for Christ's sake, so you're even hotter, you got hot, and then you jump into that fucking cold tub. Oh, it was so fucking kill. It was so good. And I think
so
that's
good.
I think that's where we're gonna hit. We're gonna hit that sweet spot with Yaz right there. Because I feel like he showed who he is at the end of the year. He had got there by game 63 or whatever the fuck. So he was a smashing balls. He was comfortable. He was in the playoffs. He was in his zone. He knows where he's gonna be. Now, hopefully he'll catch some balls this year being a catcher. All right. So like we can tag people out at the plate. That would be swell. Like he's not like moving and then the ball going the opposite way. Like I think he's gonna get there because I think he's comfortable now. And I think this will be his new team. Like now he's with the team. You got that 1 year, you're good to go. So yeah, I'm gonna go Cold Tub for Yaz.
Beef, remember when we were younger, we'd go and we'd do these big picnics out at the forest preserve, whether we were kids with our family or whether we were like
adults, and we
like
organized
adults, early 20s, and we'd do these big ass picnics. And you get out there, get your whole crew's out there, and you're like, you start drinking like it's fucking 10 a.m. or something. You start drinking some, some light beer, because you got to go.
Yeah.
It's a marathon. And you're getting to that point where you're just like, it's starting to get a little drunk. I'm starting to fall apart a little bit.
Yep.
What am I gonna do here? And you, at that point, you recognize that one of your boys has been, while we're all partying, has been working that grill.
Yes.
Has been slaving at the grill, has been really, really doing it up over there. And you go over there and you get that burger. You need that burger.
Yes.
At that moment. And it doesn't matter if it's great or very good or good. It just matters that it brings everything together. And this is the thing that ties it all together. And without it, you're fucked.
Yep.
Without it, you're like, I'm going to have to call a tow truck to drive me in my car home. Like
or Slim Mick must drive your car home.
You need
not you, but other
right
people
now. And like so and that's what he is. He's that good cookout burger because it doesn't matter how perfect or how beautiful it is. It just matters that this motherfucker gets on base and that he plays a good catcher. Like that's what's important. The home runs are gravy. The home runs are that your boy's like, hey, by the way, I got some grilled onions. That's what the home runs are.
That's
for
extra, right?
Like,
that's right.
You just need this dude to get on base and to catch very well. And that's all. And that's what the cookout burger is. So it's perfect match right there.
This Crazy, one little caveat there. To stay healthy too, because I don't want to see the backups. So let's make sure that you say something.
That's right.
That is.
I think
that's
the cookout burger and the cold tub both keep you healthy, both keep you on the right track, and that's kind of what we need.
Both
here.
reliable.
You need the reliable.
Don't miss days. Don't
Very
miss
reliable.
days.
You're not going to miss on either of them. I love both of those. Now we're gonna dig one person deep into the bench here. A guy who I think probably makes this roster and who he's maybe a catcher. I don't know. Let's not worry about that for now. Zach Collins. Zach Collins will be our sixth infielder, our final infielder for today.
Yep.
We'll say catcher, first base, whatever the fuck. His theme for the multiple choice is summer treats. Okay. Summer treats. Is Zach Collins's 2021 season going to be a freeze pop? B, sunburn, or C, bunch of balloons, water balloons, which if you don't know what these are, they are the kind with the nozzle that you put on your hose nozzle and you fill it up in like 8 seconds and you get 50 water balloons. It's amazing. It's one of the best creations anyone's ever made ever. I fucking love those things, except cleaning up the bullshit that's left over after you throw 50 water balloons at each other.
Yeah, he's not that.
Treasy.
He's not that.
Treasy, you go first, please.
So I'm going to be optimistic here. I want to be optimistic. And I'm going to say freeze pop. And here's why I'm going to say freeze pop. Because I have a freeze pop maybe twice a year. But when I have them, they are goddamn clutch.
You need it.
Like, It's 147 degrees. I've had 900 beers, and I'm just like, I just need something blue that doesn't have alcohol.
You're like, fuck it.
Yes.
Sugar water. Give it to
I
me.
put it on my face, and then I eat it, and I feel refreshed, and I'm ready for that burger to come back. for that cookout burger to come back. So I can get shit back on track. And that's I mean, that's all I needed out of Zach Collins this year. I just need Zach Collins to play every once in a while and be good. He needs to just quench the thirst of a 105-degree day. That's all he needs to do. We don't get that many 105-degree days in Chicago, but when we do, we need someone to quench that thirst. That's all he needs to be. That's all he needs to be all season, unless Yaz gets hurt. We're
I was saying, that's all we hope he has to be.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm gonna have to go with the same thing because I don't want to. He's not like bomb ass water balloons. No, he's not.
Yeah, those water balloons.
If he was a water balloon, he would be like those. Remember the like grenade ones that you could get?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and they were green.
Yeah.
And like half of them would break when you put them on the spigot. Like they would break, and then you'd have a fucking rubber band on the spigot, and then you couldn't get the thing on the spigot. You couldn't get the next one on there because that's on there, so then you got to pull that off. Like that's more Zach Collins. He's not the dope one.
Not the one where you screw it on there and it makes 50 of them in like a second.
Yeah, and no, and they just plop off and they're like ready to go.
They fall off for you. So you're Gucci. You just put a bucket and they don't fall in there, and it's great.
I'm assessed the hand grenade ones too. They are the worst because they're either you fill them up and they become basically just a condom that's got water in it, like worthless, or you fill it up to where you're like, oh, it still looks like a hand grenade, and you throw it and it just bounces.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's just too much rubber.
Those are so dope though. So yeah, he's not sunburned either. Like he's not going to be that awful. I feel like he's going to be somewhat.
It could be
decent. He could be. He's very light. He's very light complected. He could definitely get a sunburn and become a sunburn. It'd be easy for him to do that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the same thing. Now I have been seeing some talk. This is really confusing and it's fucking scary to me that there's talk about Zach Collins not being the backup catcher, but being the DH. And I'm like, wait a second. Like you got to be fucking like out of your fucking mind. Like, no, okay. I'm willing to give him a shot to be a backup catcher because I think he has the skills to do that. I've never seen him hit. So I don't think he should be a DH. Like no. I just don't know like where this is going here.
He has to hit his way into the backup catcher role.
Right.
Oh my God. And
how does he fail to hit his way into the backup catcher role, but hit his way into the DH role? That means there's a plane crash. I don't want to hear about this. Like,
oh my God.
I'm out. I'm out on that. That sounds horrible.
Right? It's crazy. That was crazy.
You're out.
I was just like, how like you sit around and you're listening to some good music or something, and then like you just see something, and you're like, wait a second, no, like that can't possibly. No, there's not a no. Are we really? Yeah, DH, and people are like, yeah, you might be the DH. It's like I don't think so. I don't think that'd be a good call. Like, I'll take a risk on Vaughn over that. Like, let's not manipulate his service time. Let's let him come right up and just see what happens over Zach Collins.
That's the choice.
Like, as a DH.
I'm with
no hedging bets here.
I really hope, though, that he shows up and just, like blows the shit out of the ball and says, fuck you, 108.
Whoa.
And you know what? We can make a shirt for him. We'll make him a shirt and everything. We'll be like,
we'll make him a shirt.
We didn't believe in Zach Collins.
Blows the shit out of the ball.
Yeah, blows the shit out of the ball.
My suck summer. Pay some bills.
Let's do it. Folks, $5. Yeah, you're supposed to turn your camera off, Fatty. There you go. Come on. There. Good job. He's listening. $5 off hoodies all through the rest of March, or up until March. I'm sorry. The rest of this month until March. So until March 1st. That's right, fuck faces. Our sweet ass fully zipped hoodie is only $30. That includes our graphite gray on black, and the one that Beef Loaf teabagged, black on black. Nothing says more I'm fucking hardcore than you than a black on black sweatshirt. So get to our merch shop, pick out a fucking hoodie for $30 that does not include shipping. So don't fucking give me shit about it. So you'll get one shipped right to your house for $40. So that's what we got. That's what I'm gonna give you,
dude.
We have tons of stickers.
Oh yeah,
We have like
I'll tell
every
you,
fucking sticker you would ever want.
that black on black hoodie is my favorite one.
It's a good one.
I love it. I mean, it just looks great. Like I really like I wear that kind of everywhere. And I like the black on black. I think it's awesome. Yeah, dude.
I got that sticker.
These stickers are incredible.
I got one of our favorite shirts ever, the Chris Sale Jersey Demolition sticker. That's a fun one. Everyone loves that.
The Slayer.
This one you can't buy, so I'm not going to show that.
Do you have the Slayer in there?
Yep.
Because
the
Slayer. So those of you who have the Slayer shirt,
that was also a shirt, but this is full color.
We couldn't do it in this amount of color because there's so many colors on that. Like doing it on the shirt would have been like, we sold a bunch of those shirts for $6.66.
Yes, we did.
That would have been a big loser.
That would have been like a $30 shirt if we would have won all those colors.
That one guy.
Oh yeah, that's
the classic.
Yeah, that you know how much of a kick in the nuts that is, Chirizi, when you like make this nice shirt and you have it up for sale for forever for like, I don't know, $25, $25, and nobody buys it. And then you put it on sale for $6.66 on Black Friday and sell like 25 of them within an hour. And then for the rest of the time since then, and it's been what, 3 years or 2 years from then, everyone's been like, hey, when you can get that Slayer back in stock? And every time somebody says that, I'm gonna be like, fuck you, motherfucker, because we had tons of them and you fucking didn't buy them when we had them.
We had to sell them at cost. Beef, I feel like you got an AL Central preview for us that you want to talk about.
I absolutely do. So what we're going to do from now until the season starts is we're going to take a look at one AL Central team. Each week we're doing the podcast with the exception of the 108 tourney bracket reveal date. All the rest of our podcast, we're going to take a look at one of the teams. Today's AL Central team that we're going to preview is the Detroit Tigers. Let's go to PointsBet first. PointsBet.com, promo code 108ing. That's where we all bet. That's where Chirizi and I are bet. That's where I'm currently doing a challenge where I'm betting regular season win totals on every single MLB team. I released NL Central last night. I'll probably do another one this weekend. And as we get closer to opening day, I'll have bet on every single team. So feel free to come at me. Tell me what you agree with or disagree with or what you do, or bet along with the Beef Loaf. Come and make some money with me. How about that? There's a lot of people who disagree, but then when they see the Jets system and it won 3.75 units, even though it only won one game, then you realize the genius of the Beef Loaf. So come along with me and bet. Right now at PointsBet.com, the Tigers over under wins is 68.5. Chirizi, how you feeling about that 68.5?
So let me throw this out there. I'm actually going to go under.
Ooh.
And here's why. They are in a division that is poised to really beat the shit out of them. Mm-hmm. And the guys that I see as kind of their best players, there's two forms of their best player.
Yeah.
There is the guys who are older, and if they hit, I mean, like Miggy's not included here. He's just expensive. I don't talk about Miggy because he's just overpriced. But it just,
I was thinking about, it's funny you mentioned Miggy because I was thinking about Miggy in this, and I didn't have him anywhere in this content at all. But I was thinking about how I feel about Miguel Cabrera. Like, I feel like he's always going to bounce back to his old form. Like, it reminds me of, remember when Dante Culpepper, his leg got all fucked up, and then he went to the Dolphins? Every year that Dante Culpepper played after he went to the Dolphins, I thought Dante Culpepper will come back and he'll be just like he was with the Vikings. And that's what I think about Mickey every year. I draft him in fantasy, and I'm like, he's coming back. He's going to hit 330, and he sucks every year, and he's fat, and he's terrible.
Beef, I was thinking about how the Bears should pick up Dante Culpepper one year, and he ended up in like the UFL or something. Like, I was just like, I kind of wanted him to be the
White Sox Dave.
to be the starter on our team. But but yeah, so like I think that they've got two kind of forms of players. So they got some guys who, if they perform well, they're going to get shipped off in the middle of the year, and then they got their
I don't think
super
they're
young
going.
guys,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of volatility, and
Right.
most of those super young guys are pitchers. So I think they're going to be on innings counts. They're not going to pitch them like the whole damn year, right?
Right.
Like, so I think at the end of the year, when teams are built up because they're going for it, and in this division, there's probably going to be 3 teams competing for the division. I think they're just going to beat the shit out of the Tigers, and I don't think the Royals are terrible in their own right. Like they're not a good team. They're like, trust me, I'm not saying the Royals are going to be a 500 team.
Yeah, they're
but-
like 12 years old. They're still at
but
the kids' table, but they're getting close to the adults.
They're going to be tough for the Tigers to
Yeah.
beat all year, right? Like so with all these teams in their division that are going to be eating up all those division wins, like it feels like an under to me, and it's a low number for a team in the same division as the Royals. But at the same time, I just kind of feel like even if they're pacing ahead of it early in the season, they're going to get rid of those players, and then it's going to fade back into that. And I think they end up close to it. I think they end up in they don't lose 100 games, but they don't win 68 games. It's going to be kind of in the middle there. If you can bet both sides, try and middle that. Good for you.
right.
Go do it.
So at PointsBet.com, their odds to win the AL Central Division, it's a very big long shot, as Treasy mentioned. If you see the over under 68.5, they're plus 4,500, which means they are 45-1 to win the AL Central. My Sox Summer, would you be willing to put a little cheddar on 45-1 Tigers winning the AL Central, passing up the Royals, passing up the Cleveland, passing up the Twins, and then also passing up the White Sox?
White Sox. No, I don't think so. I don't think there's any scenario that I would think that the Tigers are winning anything. And especially if my man Chorizo that knows shit, like is saying that anyone that gets good is going to be gone immediately, then like, yeah, definitely not throwing cash on that shit. I would disagree with Chorizo in the aspects, but they're like, I feel like they're beyond the rebuild point where they're going to start selling off assets to gain more assets, especially on young guys. I think they might keep those young guys around and just ride it out.
Agreed.
Like,
I agree with you, my Sox. I think that's
that
what it is going to be.
You can't get rid of good young players now.
If Matt Boyd has a good first half, he stays on the team.
I have no idea who Matt Boyd is.
He's legitimately the only guy who maybe would get traded.
Who else is there that's not a child then? Who's Heimer Candelario?
Well, I mean,
if he's good, they're going to get rid of him.
That's kind of the thing. Like, this team is at the point where they either have short-term free agents who, I guess they could flip, but they won't.
But
get
that's
shit
what I
from
mean.
them.
There's only those guys, and there's
then
only
the young guys.
and the young guys. And I don't think you're going to count on the young guys team to get to 68 wins.
My thought is this.
Oh no, I thought we were talking. Yeah, this is different.
This is
I was talking win totals. That's why I said what I said.
I thought you had said that they were going to start trading out people.
I think they are. If it's
a good young player, I don't think they're going to trade him.
No.
Right.
I don't think that.
Okay.
There's two scenarios here. There's the very young players. They're not going to move any of those guys. But if anyone on the current roster, if you look at the current roster, it's a bunch of fucking weirdos. Like if any of those guys play well, they're going to trade them. Right? Like if Ramos plays well, they're going to trade him. If Candelario
White
plays
Sox
well,
says Jonathan Scoop. Here's the thing with all those guys, Treasy. You're potentially right, but who needs those guys at the deadline?
No one.
So they're not going to trade them. So those guys are going to be there.
No,
Boyd is probably the only guy.
Wilson Ramos, catcher can always
your guys' his cousin.
Backup, yeah, that's our cousin. Backup catcher, no one cares. Yeah.
Scope.
It's like waking up early.
I don't think these guys go. Beef. I'm not saying that these guys go for like top dollar.
I'm saying it's possible they don't go.
Yeah,
I don't think they might. I don't think they will either.
Everything's possible, but it's possible we find delicious crab meat on Mars.
Okay,
but
okay, Rick Hahn.
I think you said it was likely last podcast. All right, now you're stepping back and saying just possible.
It's possible now.
It's probable, but just like
it's more than likely
traded is probable.
All right, so
but if Wilson Ramos has a fantastic first half, he's on a different team. Someone goes after him
potentially.
If
hopefully
Jonathan
our
Scope
team, because we might need
10
a catcher.
home runs in the first half,
exactly.
Someone who needs a utility guy, he's going to go. I'm not saying he's going to go for a lot, but he's going to go for Jeff Blum money. Like that's like
Jeff Blum money.
Teams need these guys. They need backups when they're going
outright disrespectful to Jonathan Scope, I must say. The last odds at PointsBet that we're going to mention before we get into a little player breakdown with the Tigers is the odds to win the World Series for the Tigers are plus 100,000. So basically 100-1. What's weird about PointsBet, Trees, I'll throw this to you. I know you're not going to bet 100-1 World Series because plus 4,500 AL Central is a better price,
right?
For clear reasons. We should write a blog about why it's clear that the plus 4,500 is better than the, plus 100,000, whatever. It's odd that the World Series odds at PointsBet are like the vig on that is enormous. When I bet that Marlins, I told you I bet Marlins plus 3,500. I think you might have got a piece of that too.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah.
Okay. When I bet that, which now it's reduced, it's at a lower number. It's like plus 1,500 or something.
Ooh.
When I bet that shit, their division odds are plus 3,500 and their World Series odds also plus 3,500. I was like, what kind of markets are going on here at PointsBet? But take advantage of the ones that are weak, like we did, and look at those division odds. They're often much better. So we know you're not going to bet on the World Series odds. Let's get on to one player each that we have our eyes on the Tigers. So I know you guys might have more than one in the holster, so I'm going to go to my Sox summer first. Tell me about a Tigers player that you're interested in, that you're keeping an eye on for this season.
So if I'm going player, I'm going player only. I'm going to go with Nomar because this motherfucker is going to be dropping bombs left and right. That guy might hit 35 like home runs next year because once he's away from the Sox system, he's just going to flourish. He might have fucking finally caught on by the end of the year, and now the Tigers are going to reap all the benefits. That's just my thought.
So I'll go in a similar direction as you, because I think I don't think Nomar's going to be good, but
I don't think he is either. But, but we should watch
3 home runs in 5 games.
But Beef, tell me if you don't think that White Sox Twitter would go insane if this happened. If Robbie Grossman is way better than Adam Eaton.
Yes.
Because he was just out there. He was out there for cheap.
He was less than Adam Eaton. When you discount that Hahn always has to try to put the goofy, like free option year. He always has to give it the year where he has the choice to keep you or not, which degrades the value of the contract, which is why you don't have Jock Peterson right now. You'd have Jock Peterson if you just went 1-year deal straight and you gave him the Adam Eaton money, you'd have him. But they always try to force let's take extra advantage of you. Let's squeeze you more, and we're going to get this free option year. And so they didn't. And so we have Adam Eaton and the Cubs. I don't know why the Cubs need Jock Peterson because they don't care. But, they have him. So we're losing out. Robbie Grossman would be a perfect fit for this team. Yeah. Even after Adam Eaton, like you could have grabbed him, put him in DH for the time, and then when Eloy gets hurt, he plays left field, and then when Eaton gets hurt, he plays right field. It's like, and the guy costs nothing. I don't understand how. I mean, Rick Hahn is obviously an Ivy League MBA, so he must be smarter than us. Even though I work with other Ivy League MBAs, and so I'm not sure he's smarter than us, but who knows?
That's why when I saw Grossman, I was just like, if this guy is hitting home runs in our park, everyone's going to be like, why the fuck did we not get this guy? Why did we not just take this guy? Like he was just out there just for nothing. And it just stood out. I was like, this is the guy that I'm going to keep an eye on because Jesus, this would blow up White Sox Twitter if he has a great year.
Yes.
The other guy, the other guy that I'm looking at, and I alluded to him earlier, is Matt Boyd. Because Matt Boyd has been good and then bad and then bad and then a little good. And you kind of like there's some promise there, and he's a lefty starter, and like there's some value to the guy if he can do something worthwhile in the first half. Like you can trade him for a real human player if he does well in the first half.
Allegedly,
and,
yes.
And I don't want to see that. Like I really want him to just get his balls beaten in like continually, because I don't want them to use him as any trade capital. Like him being valuable to on the trade market sucks for the Sox in the next couple of years, right? The Tigers adding anything to that team is bad.
Bad.
So you need these guys that are older, that are trade bait. You need them to all suck. And Matt Boyd is at the top of that list. Like he just cannot be good. Like I cannot allow him to be good in my mind, because I know that will equal more players for the Tigers. And I don't want the Tigers to come out of nowhere, because they'll spend money, and I don't like that.
I was going to say, if Matt Boyd's good, he's going to bolster the 2023 division winning Tigers, which we all know is going to happen, because I already told Teresi I'd be willing to bet even money on that last year that the Tigers will win the division in 2023, because exactly that, they're going to spend the pizza money. And Miguel Cabrera, they don't care. They have no payroll right now. If they really wanted to, and they should have done it, they should have told Trevor Bauer, we're going to pay you $300 million. You come here and you pitch here, if they believed in him. Now, I'm not sure, small sample size. He hasn't been great for that long or whatever, but they should have bought George Springer or some of that and just kicked off their rebuild like they did way back in the day in the early 2000s when they got Ivan Rodriguez when they weren't any good. Like they really kind of to push the envelope there.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think Boyd sticks around though. I think if he's good, they're going to move him. I think that's the play, and that's why I just want him to suck. Like I will be watching Matt Boyd, hoping for the worst for that guy, and not because I think he's a bad person or anything. It's just because his success means players for that team, and I don't want that team seeded any more than it already is.
Don't disagree. So I've got one player, and then I'm going to kick it back to my Sox Summer, because he has some other Detroit Tigers effects that we're going to talk about before we get out of here tonight. My guy is Spencer Turnbull. Okay. The Tigers are already known to have three big pitching prospects, and that's Casey Mize, Matt Manning, and Tarek Skubal. All right.
Mize guy.
But Turnbull is a kind of a young veteran. He was good in 2020 in the short season. And even though in 2019 he was 3-17, so the old school numbers say like, oh, the guy sucked. He had a 3.99 FIP, which is basically a proxy for ERA, kind of tries to tease luck out of ERA. FIP's not perfect, but it's just another metric to sort of show you. Not to mention he had an ERA plus of 103 that year. So he was above league average pitcher. And some of the pitcher whisperer guys, a guy like Eno Saris, really loves Turnbull. My biggest thing where keep an eye on Turnbull is if Turnbull becomes a real guy, like a legit guy, because he has the stuff and he becomes like a number 2 pitcher, and you got these 3 other guys that are high-end prospects, they don't have to all hit for the Tigers to be a huge fucking pain in the ass in the second half of the season. In the post-All-Star break, when they turn everyone loose and they say, all right, let's go. Let's try and have a team. It wouldn't shock me if this works out, if Turnbull works out, and they let the prospects go a little bit, if the Tigers were above 500 team in the second half, just on the strength of the pitching. Like their offense is still not there. They kind of like plugged it, like you were talking about, Teresi. They got Scope and Robbie Grossman and guys that are regular guys. They have some prospects up there, but it wouldn't surprise me if they kind of like rode that pitching real hard in the second half to just see what they had. And you're like, in the second half of the season, they were like 38-37. Like it wouldn't shock me one bit.
Yeah, I could see that. I'd be surprised that they make such a run down the second half, but Hey, if they do, you'll win on your overbet that I'm really feeling you're leaning towards.
Haven't bet that division yet, by the way. We're gonna get to the AL Central very last. We're gonna save it for last because I wanna hold it. I wanna wait, make you people wait for that shit. My Sox Summer, what do you got else with the Tigers?
So I there's two other things. Mr. Hand just texted me, shocker, that AJ Hinch, should be one to watch because he thinks they're definitely going to go over the 68 wins because it's AJ Hinch. He can win every game, and I think that's a backhanded compliment to
like
all
it,
the
yeah.
people. Now, here's another guy that I want to watch over on the Tigers, and it's Chris Federer. And mostly because Josh Nelson got us all moist for him. And
Great
then he
call.
ended up in the back seat of a Ford going down on our enemy. So fuck you, Josh. Now I got to watch this guy to see if he's going to change, revolutionize the fucking goddamn game of baseball in goddamn Detroit. Okay? And it makes me mental. So thanks, Josh Nelson.
Mental.
But
Is
yeah.
that
That's it. That's it.
Okay,
That's all I got. That's all I got.
guy.
Now,
Awesome.
also, I'm drinking Sweet Baby Java from the Duclaw Brewing Company. I think they're probably in
Duclaw, that's Maryland.
Let's see. I don't see it, but it's
Reading.
a espresso bean infused chocolate peanut butter porter, and because it's not so cold, I am definitely getting a shitload of fucking peanut butter, and it is delicious. Just to let
Shitload of peanut butter. Should have named the podcast that. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Cha-ching, motherfucker.
Great time tonight. We will talk to you very soon.